Member for Moggill.
Deputy Speaker, after 6 years of excuses, delays and inaction by the Palaszczuk State Labor Government to provide vital school, road, public transport and community infrastructure for the western suburbs of Brisbane, local residents are wanting to see decisive action by the re-elected State Labor Government to address these issues. Deputy Speaker, with respect to Moggill Road and public transport infrastructure, for years Labor has been nothing but a roadblock when it comes to comprehensively busting traffic congestion in the electorate of Moggill and across the western suburbs of Brisbane. Deputy Speaker, it was only due to my consistent advocacy in 2019 and that of the federal member for Ryan, Julian Simmons MP, that federal funding of $12.5 million was secured for the upgrade of the Kenmore roundabout, which the State Labor Government belatedly matched with an additional $12.5 million following my relentless advocacy on this issue. Now, Deputy Speaker, despite Labor promising my local community that they would be consulted on this upgrade before Christmas last year, it was only last week that I was formally briefed on the Labor State Government's draft design for upgrading the Kenmore roundabout and the associated section of Moggill Road. Deputy Speaker, I wish to be clear. Labor's draft design has significant impacts for local businesses, key stakeholders and all residents, and I certainly have a number of serious concerns about Labor's draft design. What's more, Deputy Speaker, I'm also very concerned at the significantly tight schedule of community consultation that the State Labor Government is allowing for feedback and input, especially as it is scheduled to take place in part over the forthcoming Easter break. Deputy Speaker, the Labor Government must get this right, and Labor must ensure due diligence. Similarly, Deputy Speaker, with respect to long overdue school infrastructure, significant concerns have been raised by local residents and stakeholders regarding the consultation process for the new Brisbane Inner West Primary School. Deputy Speaker, the process of consultation on this important piece of infrastructure for the western suburbs of Brisbane by Labor is seemingly tokenistic at best. Deputy Speaker, there is also the need for a new high school in my electorate, as well as a sustained investment in Kenmore State High School. Deputy Speaker, we've also seen the extraordinary response to local community groups by the Labor Government that there is, and I quote, a low level of need for a community and neighbourhood centre in Kenmore and a new Western community hub. Deputy Speaker, the State Labor Government's response to this much-needed community infrastructure reveals the duplicity of local Labor representatives, local Labor branch members and the disgraceful exploitation of community organisations during the most recent state election campaign. Deputy Speaker, after 6 years of being ignored by Labor, local residents of the electorate of Moggill deserve a state government that is focused on their needs. Deputy Speaker, it's only the Liberal National Party that has the vision, the ideas and the plans to deliver for the western suburbs of Brisbane. And I look forward to continuing to work with my local LNP colleagues, Federal Member for Ryan, Julian Simmons MP and Councillor Greg Aderman on a range of infrastructure solutions and ensuring that the State Labor Government delivers its fair share of infrastructure funding to our area.
Acting Deputy Speaker.